Rolling in the deep is what we're working on today. Your tuning is going to be altered, so you're going to have D for the big one, G for the second biggest, leave D for the third biggest, leave G for the next one, and then lowering this to B flat and lowering this to D. Then you're going to put your capo on the 5th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a fingerstyle thing, which is going to have the melody incorporated. So your first strum, your thumb, index, middle, and ring finger are grabbing the A, G, B, E strings, which are all different now. I'm just going to call them out like they used to be. So that's your first strum. Then you have the high E by itself, and then a 2 pull off to an open string, and then an open G. And you're doing your right hand is ring, and then ring, and then middle, index. Moving on, you're going to pluck 2 E's, and then the 2nd fret on the B with your middle finger, and then open with your right hand middle finger, and then left with your index. So most of the time you're going to use your thumb to operate the big 3, and your index stays on G, middle stays on B, ring stays on high E. So that's how all that works. But that little section is moving on. We have an open E, and then 3rd fret on the high E, and then 2 hammer onto 3 on the B, and then a 2 pull off to open on the B, and then 2 open G's. So moving on, we have 3 open B strings, and then 2 on the G, and then 2 open G's. That little part's like this. Moving on, back to that same thing we were doing in the first measure. That's A, G, B, and E all together, an open E string, and then 2 pull off on the B to open, and then a G string. And then we're moving on, and your first finger goes on the 2nd fret of the G. This is your left hand, and your 2nd finger goes on the 3rd fret of the D, and you're plucking the big E, D, G, and high E strings, and then another E, and then you're going to do 2nd fret on the B, open B, and then a G, open. So that sounds like moving on. Now your 2nd finger goes to the 3rd fret of the big string, and then your first finger is on the on the G string, and you have an open high E. You're plucking all 3 of those together, and then you're doing it while you keep those ringing out. I guess you can let go of the 2. You're going to hit an open E and hammer onto the 3rd fret with your ring finger. This is all left hand stuff. Then you've got an open E then 2 on the B string with your index finger, and then an open on the B, and then 2 open Gs. So all of that little chunk sounds like. Then we're moving on. Your second finger goes to the 3rd fret of the D, and your first finger goes to the 2nd fret of the G, and you're plucking the E, D, G, and B strings all together, and then another B, and then this is where you would move your left hand 3. So instead of being down here, now they're up here on D, G, and B. So those 3 together. And then the 2 fret with your middle finger on the G string, and then 2 open Gs, and you're using your middle finger to pluck that with your left hand. And then you're going to move your, with your right hand. Then you're going to move your left hand over to the 3rd fret of the big string, and you're going to get 3 of those on the 3rd fret. So all of that little chunk sounds like this. Moving on, now what you're going to do with your right hand is you're going to do some palm muting, where you take the side of your right hand and put this meaty part on top of the bridge, this little bone colored thing right there, and muting the bass string. So really you're just trying to get this as opposed to a kind of sound. And then for this you're going to pluck the A string, and for this whole next piece you're going to have this constant pulsing bass part. And that changes. So for the next part you have the open A and open D, G, and B's together, and then an open A, and then a high E open, back to the open A, another open A, and then you're gonna pluck the, you're moving your hand back down to the G, B, and E strings with your right hand, and you're plucking the open A and B together, and you're going to do a pull off from the 2 to the open string on the B string, and then A and D together, and then 2 more A's. So all of that sounds like this. Moving on, we've got an open E string, a big E, and then your second finger goes on the 3rd fret of the D, and your first finger goes on the 2nd fret of the G, and you're plucking a high E as well. So that's with your thumb, index, middle, ring on your right hand like this. And then you're doing 2 E's together, so the big E and the little E. And then you're moving your index finger on your left hand to the 2nd fret of the B string, and you're plucking a big E and B string together, and then an open B and an E together, and then an open E and an open G together, and then 3 more open E's. So that little part sounds like this. Alright, and that is as far as we're going today. 3 and 4 and... 2, 3, and 4, and.